blessed us to see another week. Welcome everyone to the Talk That Talk weekly podcast sponsored by the Celebrity Spotlight Live Talk Show. I'm your happy host, Modesty. I hope that you all had a memorable and a peaceful week, because if the truth be told, on a daily basis, sometimes 24/7, we hear so much, we see so much, and read about so much. And at times it can become very overwhelming to the point where you might find yourself fighting with yourself as to whether or not you should or you shouldn't turn on the radio or the television to see the news. But in spite of it all, I want to encourage every one of you to continue to live, laugh, love, pray, and above all, have faith in God, because He is omniscient and He knows all things. And when we look to God in faith and in prayer, it gives us confidence in knowing that regardless of what we see, what we hear, or what we read, that everything eventually is going to be all right. I like to start the podcast with a quote every week, because words are powerful and they can have a lasting effect upon us. It might even come in handy at the present or at any given time in the future. The quote says, "If people haven't laughed at your dreams, then you aren't dreaming big enough. Just keep pushing forward." This quote is credited to Damon John, who is an entrepreneur, a Shark Tank host, an investor, and also a celebrity author. Here on the Talk That Talk podcast, we like to inspire, motivate, educate, and congratulate, especially when it's in order, because we appreciate our listeners. With that being said, we do weekly shout-outs and mentions. So here goes. To our listeners, if you were born in the month of May and have a birthday coming up soon, we want to wish you a happy birthday. If you're celebrating a wedding anniversary, we want to say happy anniversary to you too. And to those of you listening that either started a new business, a new job or career, or you've finally answered the call to be an entrepreneur, or you've even received a promotion, recently. Congratulations from us, and we wish you all the best. If this is your first time listening to us, the Talk That Talk podcast focuses on the fabulous 8: fame, faith, fun, family, food, the future, finance, and forever. So in any given week that you listen, we will be talking about one or two of the 8 topics just mentioned. It's time now for the Tell Me Something Good segment. This is the segment of the podcast where I'll be highlighting good news about good people and their achievements, as well as any acts of kindness that they have performed. In Riverdale, Illinois, an 8th grader by the name of Jaira Griffin raised money so that she could give back to her community by sponsoring a free wash day at a local laundromat in her area. That's an awesome deal. This is what inspired Jaira to do this. She's a tutor for young kids, and she started noticing while tutoring them that some of them were coming to class wearing clothes that weren't as clean as they should have been. And she was bothered by that. Now, these are her own words. "I would see that their clothes weren't as clean as they could be," she said. "So I thought they would focus more on what people would think about them, and that it would lower their self-esteem. That also could have hampered them from focusing on what they were learning." So what she did is she raised about $1,000 in order to sponsor this free wash day. So any and everyone that entered that particular laundromat on the designated day was able to wash their clothes all day free of charge. and she's planning to sponsor another free wash another free wash day in the month of August when kids go back to school. We applaud Jaira for her fundraising activities and for her acts of kindness. And as I often say, there is no better feeling than when you give back to your community or when you give back to others who are in need. Now, today our focus is going to be one of my favorite topics: food. And I'm going to drop 2 easy recipes on you that I want you to feel free to try. I was born in the Deep South. I'm a meat eater and I'm a rice eater. I love to eat and I love to cook. Now, I have no issues with telling you what my top 5 favorite foods are. They are fried chicken, fried chicken, fried chicken, fried chicken, and fried chicken. Well, I'll be honest with you. For 2018, I have fallen back a little bit as it relates to fried chicken because, yes, it's full of cholesterol and it's very greasy and it can add a lot of weight to your body and to your midsection. But nevertheless, let me ask you this: has this ever happened to you? Have your cooking skills ever been doubted by family or friends? Have you ever gone to a family gathering or a cookout where everyone brought a dish because you was raised right and you was taught manners and you was told never to go to someone's birthday, wedding, or cookout empty-handed? Bring something. So let's say you offered to bring a dish or food and they said, no, that's all right, just bring yourself. And this happened to you not once, not twice, not 3 times, but let's say every time you made an effort or you said that you wanted to bring something, they said you didn't have to bring anything. See, that can make you get into your feelings about it, especially if you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you can cook. Now, let me just break it to you like this. It's a clear indication without them saying to you that someone may not believe that you can burn, as we say in the kitchen. So they won't be rude by telling you that directly. They'll just say, bring yourself. You don't have to bring anything. Now it can make you feel insecure, as I first stated, about your cooking abilities, although you know you can get busy in the kitchen. Within the last several years, though, now, from my observation, there has been a surge in the diet and healthy eating markets. In my opinion, it seems as though men, women, and even teenagers, for the most part, have become very health conscious, and for good reasons, and have started altering their eating and drinking habits, from popular sodas to all kinds of juices and sparkling waters, not only for themselves but for their friends, their family members, and even their children. Now, it's a challenging change for many because when you're used to eating whatever you want, whenever you want, at home or even at your favorite restaurant without discretion or limitation, quotes, desserts included, it can be very difficult to change or alter your eating patterns, but it's not impossible. It's just a little difficult. Now, with that thought in mind, I'm going to share 2 simple recipes with you today. One is for baked fish, basa, B-A-S-A, for those of you who love fish, and the second is for gourmet green beans. Now, I enjoy fish, but not as much as I enjoy my chicken, of course. And my favorites as far as fish are salmon. I like catfish. I like tilapia. I like flounder as well, and I like basa. Basa is also another species, believe it or not, in the catfish family, and it's delicious in my opinion. The recipe I'm going to give you can be used for all of the fish that I just mentioned. Basa comes frozen, but I like to buy it fresh from the market when it's been cleaned and deboned. I like it because it's very meaty. Basa reminds me of flounder because it's very meaty. It's not that expensive, and you can get more than what you pay for, in my opinion, when you choose to buy basa fish. This is the recipe for the baked basa. Take either a glass dish or an oven-ready aluminum pan and line it with foil. Spray oil or rub cooking oil onto the foil to keep the fish from sticking as it bakes. Put the fish into the pan. Next step, take a small microwavable container with a cover, 3 small slices of butter or margarine, a half a teaspoon of seasoning salt or your favorite seasoning, 5 teaspoons of water, and microwave all of these ingredients for about a minute or less. Last step, pour the sauce onto the fish, and if you like lemon, squeeze a half a lemon onto it, and you can bake it uncovered or you can bake it covered as well. Turn the oven to 350 and let it cook for an hour and a half or 2 hours. And you can bake the fish, as I first stated, uncovered as well as covered. Depending on how moist you want it. If you want it to be super moist, then of course you would cover it with some foil and allow it to bake that way. It's light, it's tasty, and it's healthy. So if you try it, I'm sure you will enjoy it. The second recipe is for gourmet string beans. Some refer to them as snap beans, those of us from the South, or green beans. For this recipe, I'm going to refer to them as green beans. This is what you'll need. A few pounds of green beans. Buy them according to how much you want to cook or how much you'll be serving. A few pounds, maybe 2 or 3 pounds, again, depending upon how many people you want to serve. I like to buy my greens fresh, green beans rather, fresh from the market. I like the freshness of the taste. If you don't have time to go to the market, you can use 3 to 4 cans of green beans as well. You're going to need 1 red bell pepper, a small green pepper, and 1 small white onion. You'll also need 2 cans of chicken broth. Any brand will do. Garlic powder or garlic, fresh garlic. Lawry's is my favorite seasoning salt. Some Lawry's seasoning salt, or your favorite seasoning. And 2 packages of Goya Sazon con Azafran. I'll spell that for you. Goya, Goya, Sazon, Sazon, con Azafran, Conazafran. Now you have a choice. If you want to use meat along with the green beans, you'll need 1 Hillshire Farms smoked beef sausage or 1 pack of chicken cutlets. Now, if you don't want to use meat, you can make the dish as a vegetarian dish, and you could just leave it meatless, but utilize all of the ingredients that I just mentioned. Alright, step 1, prepare the green beans and either snap them in half, or if you like them long, or you can cut them into 3 or 4 pieces. Step 2, chop up the green pepper, the red pepper, and the white onion into small pieces. Step 3, pour the chicken broth into a stock pot or a medium-sized pot. Step 4, chop up the smoked beef sausage as is into coin-sized pieces. Step 5, put the smoked beef sausage along with the red pepper, the green pepper, and the onions into the pot on low heat so that they can boil together. After everything has boiled for about 30 minutes, add the green beans, the seasoning salt, the garlic powder, and the 2 packets of Goya Sazon con Azafran. If you get the fresh beans, let it cook for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. But if you decide not to use fresh green beans, but you want to use canned beans, let everything cook, I would say, for 30 to 40 minutes. And there you have it. 2 recipes that are light, that are good, that are tasty, and healthy. Baked basa fish and gourmet green beans. Here at the Talk That Talk podcast, if you listen to the show, we welcome your comments or remarks. So if you would like to comment or share your remarks about the podcast, please feel free to do so. You can email me at celebrityspotlightlive@gmail.com. In the subject line, put the words TTT podcast or Talk That Talk podcast. I will be glad to hear from you, and if time permits, I might be able to read your comment and give you a shout out as well on the podcast. If you'd like to inquire about booking me as a host or a keynote speaker for a women's brunch, a luncheon, a women's enrichment or a women's empowerment session, or a women's panel, you can call 646-515-4375 or email me at celebrityspotlightlive@gmail.com. I also conduct 15 and 30-minute promotional interviews for new business professionals, entrepreneurs, entertainment professionals, authors, and ministers on another platform. For details about that or more, visit www.csltalkshow.com. Until next time, although it's good to be important, you know what I like to say, it's even more important to be good. Everybody, thank you for listening and have a great week.